Hi everybody. This isn't going to be a political video. I mean, well, somewhat, but this is going to be the first video of its kind, or for me, anyways. I've been reading, books for the past couple of years now. Not many. When I was doing security, I was reading a lot more. The last book I read was this book, Patriots of the Barrio. I seen it in Barnes & Noble, and right away it caught my eye and I wanted to read it. So I got it, started reading it at home. After a while, didn't have enough time to finish it, so I started reading it on my lunch at work. Finally, was able to finish it, and wow, this is a really good book. The reason why I decided to make a review on it is because I looked for reviews on the book just to see what other people thought about it before I finished reading it, and there were none, I believe. Maybe one, but from that, really there weren't any. So I thought, well, why not? I'm reading it, and I have a YouTube channel. Why not do a review on it? It's a really good book. After I finished it, I realized how good it was. It really does the Mexican Americans who fought in World War II justice, and the fact that we're not even mentioned in it when it comes to when we're in school, and when we were taught about World War II, taught about our history. This is rarely if ever mentioned. But a lot of people will have issues with that. I did when I first read it. I was pretty upset to find that I never learned anything about it. But as I read into it and read more, I realized that the soldiers, they didn't care very much. They knew that they didn't have a section for Hispanics or Latinos or Mexicans. They were just considered white when they registered into the military, and they didn't care because they weren't in it for recognition. They were in it because they wanted to fight for their country. They loved their country. They didn't have all the perks that say all the white people had, but what they wanted to do, what their parents wanted to do, was work hard and earn their living, and that's exactly what they did. They worked in the fields, but they earned their living honestly, and they gave their kids a better life, and their kids were appreciative of that. Their families were appreciative of that because they came to a country where they could work and they weren't extorted, and they weren't told they couldn't work. They were told work as hard as you can, as much as you want, and you'll get ahead. And so they wanted to serve. Now, the writer, Dave Gutierrez, he is a family member of one of the soldiers, El Zancudo, which is the mosquito. And he remembered hearing the stories about his cousin, and he finally just, I guess that's what got him into wanting to become a historian. But he put so many details in it, details of how they felt going through everything, how society treated them before and after they went in, the way they were able to handle the pressures of war. But they not only talked about that, but they also talked about how it was for them to be in Company E. One of the surprising things was Company E had received recognition for being the best. I'm not going to say what it was. I don't want to spoil it for you guys if you read it and find out all the details. But they were given high marks. They really proved themselves when they went in there. Their general was really proud of them. The captain, their sergeant sergeant was really proud of them. They really gained the respect of everybody else in the military. Of course, back then, whenever somebody new came in, when it either was Mexican or black or Asian, whenever they came into the military, the white people, they were just so used to being by themselves that it's just a natural thing for everybody to always feel superior to the smaller groups of people, and that's just how they felt. But the Mexicans really proved themselves and proved that they could handle anything. I mean, they really gained their respect. And it wasn't just in boot camp. They eventually ended up proving themselves as they went into battle. A lot of them won awards or won medals for bravery. Some of the things that they detailed, the battles they fought, are amazing. I mean, things that you make movies out of, you want to watch over and over and over again. It's amazing. Just it makes you kind of proud as a Mexican, just to hear what they've done in World War II and how they put themselves before, or put everybody else before themselves, and really just looked out for their brothers. And I mean, being a minority in the military, you really do feel like they're all your brothers. A lot of them did grow up with each other. Most of them came from Texas, and I mean, gave their lives for each other. I found that there was two reasons why we weren't taught about the Mexican Americans in World War II. One of them was, like I said before, that they weren't given their own indignation. They were just considered white, so they were thrown in with everybody else when it came to the military, which they didn't care. They just wanted to serve. They weren't looking for recognition. They were Mexican Americans, but they weren't looking for any kind of recognition. They don't do the identity politics that a lot of people are doing today. And they were proud to be American. They wouldn't even consider themselves Mexicans. They would consider themselves Americans of Mexican descent, but Americans. Um, and they called themselves Chicanos. That's what they were. They said we were Chicanos, but they were at the same time they were Americans, and they were proud to be American. The heroism is amazing in the book. The camaraderie, the sense of brotherhood is amazing in the book. The way they even talk about their family, they don't leave that out. They talk about their family, how the family was going through it, just hearing news about them while they've been in war, the way they reacted when they came back, when some of them didn't come back. They even had stories of a little bit of racism in our country as they were going through boot camp. But the thing that was really surprising, well, not too surprising, but I mean, what was really satisfying to hear was that their superiors were actually defended them against those racist people and really got them to change their mind and to see them as soldiers and as humans, not as just Mexicans who were inferior to them. They had earned the military's respect, and they had earned their superiors' respect, and they defended them against racism. We know that there was a lot of racism in our government. I mean, there still is today. But the Mexican Americans, the Chicanos that served in World War II, they really showed and proved themselves. They showed the military, they showed the country that they were that they were to be reckoned with, that they were humans, that they were strong, and that they deserved respect. There was even moments where it even kind of made me tear up a little bit, just thinking about the pain of the family and they were going through, the sad stories when we lost a soldier, the excitement when they had a victory. There was even times where they were joking, actually a lot of times where they're joking around. As Mexicans, we like to joke around a lot. That's just one of the things. There's a lot of machismo pride, and same time a lot of joking around, because we're just, even though we're not necessarily family or blood family, we act like family. We joke around a lot, and that's exactly what they were doing there. A lot of levity to kind of just calm things down and to get them back into their heads, so they're not freaking out so much. One of the things that really helped them out a lot, and then also just thinking back of the hardships they had, being on the farm, being in the fields, just thinking back on those days and trying to use the knowledge they had to survive and to get through another day. Like I said, the book has so many details. There's so much in it. It's definitely worth the read. Even if you're not Mexican, it's definitely worth the read. Just to see how a group of people can change the way people look at them, just through hard work and perseverance. And as a Mexican, this will help you really understand why there are so many Mexicans out here who are patriotic and who love this country. It's not because we're brainwashed or anything like that. It's because we understand the opportunities America gives us. There was another reason why they didn't explain so much about the Mexican Americans in World War II, and that was because there was a certain mission where a lot of things went wrong, and it wasn't on our part as Mexicans. It was actually on one of the general's parts, and everybody made sure that it was known that it wasn't the Chicanos, it wasn't Company E, it wasn't anything that they did, but they served valiantly. They knew that they were going into something terrible, and they went anyways because they knew they had that sense of duty. They knew they had to do it, and they were willing to prove themselves either way, even if they knew that they probably weren't going to make it back. But That's one of the things, one of the reasons why they didn't talk so much about it, because it wasn't a failure. But the spirit of the men, their courage wasn't a failure, and that's something to tell. So definitely look at the book. Take a look at. I mean, you really got to read the book. It's definitely worth your time. I'm most likely I'm going to read it again just to get all the details again, get it stronger in my head. Um, Company E, the 41st Century Infantry, the only all Mexican American Army unit in World War II. It's the only one. We got to keep these things in our memory. We have to keep passing this history down. It's not being taught in schools. Hopefully, now that we have a more patriotic president, who really cares about the minorities in this country and always has, maybe he'll start putting this back in the curriculum. I mean, he already says he wants to teach more patriotism in schools, so and more history. Maybe he'll end up putting this in there. This is definitely going to be a good read, and not only for Mexicans to be more patriotic, but also for anybody else who's racist. They would actually see the value of other people's other ethnicities, saying that everybody has value, everybody has an ability to do something amazing. It's just we have to give them the opportunity. We have to be patient and wait for it, not to go into judgment and say, oh, just because they're different from us, they're not going to be as good as us. You don't know that until you give them a chance. You don't know that until you let them try. So this is a good book for everybody. There's laughs, there's tears, there's excitement, there's suspense. There's so much in this book. I really can't say enough about it. I love this book, and I really recommend it to you guys. Now, if you guys like this, like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments. You guys want me to make some more book reviews? I've read other books. As you can see here, I've read some Charles Dickens. I've read some Jules Verne. Some Christian books here. Eli Wiesel, which is a dark, one of the first serious books that I read. That one also brought me to tears too. It's about also about World War II during the concentration camps. Next one I'm going to be reading is The Princess Bride. I've seen the movie. I love the movie. My wife got me the book, so I'm going to be reading that next. And after that, she also got me The Art of War. I'm going to be reading that one too, and eventually some of the other books. But if you guys want me to, I'll review these books. Even review some of the audio books that I've listened to. If you guys want me to. Not all of them are classics, and not all of them are history books. So just let me know. If you like this, I want to see more. Leave a like, subscribe, and see you later.